Hey guys, Eskalia here. We just got back from watching Suicide Squad. Went for the 10 o'clock release to it. And,
It was bad.
It was bad. I'm so bummed out. I was looking forward to this movie above all else. This is like Batman vs. Superman was a huge kick in the dick, and it was awful.
Mm-hmm.
And for a while, I wasn't even excited for Suicide Squad. But as the trailers kept coming out and it kept getting closer, my hopes started to return to me.
Mm-hmm.
You were a little bit more soured on it. I think you went in expecting bad.
Now here's the thing: I was the opposite of you. I knew this movie was going to be bad. I knew the last few DC movies were really bad.
Yeah.
And the trailers felt super corny.
I love the trailers for them.
They felt like the aesthetics of a movie made me think the CEO of Hot Topic is just about to nut. That's what he screams Jared Leto Joker as he comes. But as a guy who was expecting it to be bad,
it was bad.
Worse than I fathomed. It was not even bad. It was boring.
Yeah, that's really the word for it. I don't mind just sitting down and watching a popcorn movie. Yeah. That doesn't bug me. I can watch. I like Sharknado.
Yeah.
I like Birdemic. I like The Room. I like all of those movies. I like bad movies. It doesn't bug me. This was boring.
It failed as a cheap movie thrill.
Yeah.
I'm more interested in my popcorn.
Yeah, the action in that movie fell really flat, and there was a lot of it. I mean, it wasn't like there was any lack of action. It's just nothing felt important.
It was like the Suicide Squad and the Marine Corps fighting a bunch of putties or the fungus people from The Last of Us.
I thought the same thing with the first fight that they had. I'm like, these are the putties from Power Rangers. Just they even had the weird jiggliness to them. All they were missing was the little chest plate that you punch to make them explode.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't like any of the acting, honestly, except for one saving grace.
Please say Will Smith.
It was Will Smith. It's 2016, and I have not had enough of Will Smith.
Yeah.
I want more Will Smith. I want a Deadshot movie.
Yeah.
I liked his story a lot.
Yeah, I agree. Will Smith was really good. I mean, I think let's start with the story. For Suicide Squad. So, this is a spoiler movie.
Yeah,
so
by the way.
Just so you know.
Don't go see it, but...
Don't go see it.
We'll explain
We'll explain it, yeah.
By the way, I didn't pay for my ticket. I still have buyer's remorse. I apologize to my friend John for buying my ticket.
I did pay for my ticket, so yeah, I feel that. So let's start with the story. Anyone who knows Suicide Squad knows what the story is. Amanda Waller finally gets her permission to construct Task Force X. She gets Deadshot, Harley Quinn, Killer Croc, Diablo. She originally has the Enchantress.
And 3 geeks.
A bunch of Captain Boomerang.
Slipknot. Not the band.
Not the band, thankfully. Slipknot would have been more entertaining. The band would have been great.
Just playing their fucking new metal riffs.
Yeah, that would have been awesome. So she gets all of them together and plants bombs in their necks and says, you guys are going to be the Suicide Squad or I'm going to blow your heads off, pretty much.
That's the promise of Suicide Squad.
Yeah, and so they are. And really, they pretty much all say no, and then they're all doing it anyway in the next scene.
Mm-hmm.
Not one of them actually says, yeah, okay.
Yeah, they're kind of forced to.
Yeah. But
right.
That could have been an interesting, dynamic, they were and they for the first half of the movie, they try to play that up, they're all plotting, when they're going to make their escape and everything. Mm-hmm. But then it all just kind of disappears.
Yeah.
They decided to, abandon that story arc halfway.
They suddenly care.
Yeah, exactly. They're suddenly hey, what if we tried to do something good for once in our lives? And it's why? Why are any
of these who suggested that plan? Who wanted to do something good?
No one. They just kind of suddenly were.
No,
it was Deadshot.
Deadshot
right?
did it, and everyone else was all right, what else are we going to do?
Yeah, exactly. Harley Quinn literally says, what else are you guys going to do? And she literally says that. And you're oh, apparently now they're all on board.
Yeah. I have a complaint about... I gotta put this down.
Just gonna eat popcorn the whole video.
I hated the look of the movie.
The aesthetic?
Yes. Because, like, it was, to my understanding, I haven't read the comics, Suicide Squad is supposed to be, like, grim but colorful.
Yeah.
And this movie was, aside from, I guess, like, Harley Quinn,
Yeah.
who was very muted. Even though she was colorful, she was very muted. But all
the color in the
all of
movie
DC movies, as of late, have been so sapped of color.
Yeah.
And it's
You're right.
horrible. I hate it. Everything is either, like, dark, like we're in a dark room, or it's like we're walking around at night, or we're in an underground lair, or we're in a diner, or it's darker. With, like, the exception of, like, out in a prison yard, like, once.
Right, well, I don't mind that theme in Batman. Batman is the Dark Knight. Everything's supposed to be dark. But with Suicide Squad, I would expect it to be a little bit more... I mean, Suicide Squad is kind of grimdark, too.
Yeah,
but,
no, I believe it
but
wasn't...
the problem is it looks like every other DC movie.
Yeah, this was supposed to be like, this isn't your... Like, Suicide Squad, like, we're not superheroes. This isn't your superhero comic
And then
movie.
it's just a superhero
And then it's
movie.
it's a really boring superhero movie with a really boring premise. Like, they even do, like, the $1 trillion CGI save the world from something thing that I always complain about in superhero movies.
Yeah.
Where they always save the world from some giant pillar of light or something of that nature. That's in this movie.
Oh, yeah, don't you worry. That'll show up.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess there's two ways to look at this movie. You can look at this movie from the action perspective and from the comedy perspective.
And they both suck.
Yeah, they both really failed. I feel like we're being really real downers about this movie, but it was...
It left me, like, offended. Like, every movie I go into, I enjoy while watching it.
Yeah.
I liked Lost World.
I mean, can we point out that you and I both enjoyed Ghostbusters?
We both liked
we
Ghostbusters.
both went and saw the new Ghostbusters, and we both liked it.
We both liked it. I liked Batman vs. Superman while watching it. When I looked back and analyzed it, I hated it. But, like, this movie...
I didn't even like that one watching it.
I hated it while watching it.
Yeah, I thought about leaving during it. I think we got, like, an hour in, and I was just, like... I was already thinking about, like, what am I going to do afterwards?
I'm just saying, I want to go home and complain about this.
Yeah, kinda. Like, this is the first video that we... Like, this video has... this movie inspired us to sit down and do this.
Salivating about talk about how...
Yeah.
Sad this movie.
So from an action perspective, like you say, like they fight putties effectively. Like there's no like the villain is Enchantress. Like that's who it ends up being, and her big brother who comes out of nowhere.
Yeah. By the way, Enchantress.
She looked way cooler before she got her heart back, didn't she?
Yeah.
She looked super lame by the end of it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
She kind of just looks like human. She looks like
here's
our monster. Like, supernatural witch from 1,000 years ago, but she's super hot.
Yeah, Incan goddess.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, but up until that moment when they fight Enchantress, literally, they fight faceless blob men. And it's just like, nothing feels important.
Yeah. There's... All of the action scenes are, Will Smith shooting stuff.
Yep. Harley Quinn hitting things with a baseball bat.
Or shooting stuff.
With
Captain Boomerang doing
pistol.
nothing.
Captain Boomerang's boomerang not working.
Killer Croc doing nothing.
He punches like 2 guys.
Yeah.
That's it.
Pyro intentionally doing nothing for story reasons.
We'll get to
Pyro. Diablo.
We'll get to Diablo. Yeah, we'll get to him.
I forgot about him. I actually liked him somewhat.
I did too. He's one of my favorite characters.
And yeah, it was just a lot of shooting and
none of it feels important.
And none of it feels important.
Yeah. So from an action perspective, like at no point, like, it's not like Civil War where we had the fight between the two sides, and you had Iron Man and Spider-Man on a team and Captain America. Like it doesn't capture like that felt important when that fight happened.
They're not 5 individuals. It's like Deadshot, Harley Quinn, and 4 goons.
And 4 goons versus putties.
Yeah.
It's like when you watch those Power Ranger episodes, no one watches it for the putty fight. You're waiting for the monster to show up and grow real big.
By the way, why is it that every female superhero or supervillain does that like leg head scissors move at least once in every movie?
You have to Hurricane Rana someone.
Like, yeah, all female characters are based off their dexterity checks. and like for some reason Harley Quinn, Who, by the way, is
she's an amazing fighter. I don't recall that being in the story anyway.
Yeah, she can do she trained in the CMLL of Lucha Libre or something.
Yeah, no, definitely. She looks like she's got years of Navy SEAL training because she's just this amazing hand-to-hand fighter.
Yeah.
I don't remember that in the books, but I mean, I guess they had to make Harley have something because when you think about it, she's just Harley Quinn.
Yeah,
she's crazy and she's a big hammer.
And
so I get
by the way,
why they wanted to establish her as like a dominant force on the Suicide Squad because she does kind of run it in the comics now.
Yeah, but she's super annoying.
That was, I think, my biggest complaint of the movie is everything about her fell flat.
Yeah, part of it is that I almost could picture Vince McMahon in her ear going, "Be sexier." That was Harley Quinn is sexy, and then she's crazy, and guys like crazy girls, and we don't really, but
yeah, I think,
and she's just annoying.
I don't know if I would say she was annoying. I felt like she suffered from bad writing more than anyone else in there. All of her jokes fell flat, and I don't think it was the delivery. She has kind of that quirky Harley Quinn personality down.
I disagree, because there are scenes where she's talking in her Brooklyn accent, and then scenes where she's not.
Yeah.
And it's you're forgetting what you're supposed to be doing. If you do half your scenes where you're just a different character doing a different voice.
Well, that could be. Yeah, you're right. I think in the books, I know a lot of times when she's being very normal, she doesn't talk with her accent. The accent is pronounced the crazier she gets.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, it's.
That did not come across as much as you think it would have to.
But I mean, she's always supposed to have it, but it's more pronounced the crazier she's being. I thought Harley Quinn fell really, really flat, which is such a bummer because I do like Margot Robbie.
Yeah, she's a good actress.
And
I've seen her in good stuff.
Finally we get to see her on screen. I thought
every single person in that production crew, every writer in that thing wants to fuck Margot Robbie, and that's why they did everything the way they did.
So did everybody in the theater.
Yeah, which I guess. By the way, I'm not going to open up the can of worms about the relationship between Joker and
No, I'm about to go into that.
Okay, but can I say something that's just the tip of the iceberg first, and then I'll let you tear into that?
Yeah.
I hated this Joker. I have opinions about Jared Leto.
Yeah.
And I've seen good Joker portrayals, and I've seen bad Joker portrayals. I hated this Joker because he didn't feel smart. He didn't feel the way I always like to think of a Joker is he's colorful, he's maniacal, but he's smart. He's really smart. This Joker didn't feel smart. He felt impulsive, and he just did things that were just kind of weird. There's that scene where he's just hanging out in what appears to be a living room, just surrounded by knives with no purpose other than it's weird. Well, and he's laughing to himself. I'm not sure if he was trying to be. He sounded like he was doing Heath Ledger's impression. But then no. He had the same kill Batman kind of tone to him, and then just it was so weirdly gruff. And I was expecting how weirdly colorful it was. Well, colorful for DC standards at this point, to be a little more articulative, and he didn't feel that way to me.
I don't know. You gotta stop eating, dude. Stop eating. Leave the popcorn alone. I didn't have a problem with the Joker as himself. I didn't. I thought he was fine. He was different, and I'm glad he was different. I didn't want him to be just Heath Ledger 2.0.
That's how I felt he was.
No, I didn't think so. To me, he felt very 80s. He felt very dark and gruff, and just kind of he didn't strike me as. He struck me as having he owns Gotham already. He's not working undercover. He's not working behind the scenes anymore. He owns the Gotham crime world. Everyone's afraid of him. Everyone knows him. He doesn't have to do all the things that he kind of normally we would see from Heath Ledger. Think about Heath Ledger's Joker. No one's heard of him when he first appears. It's literally him coming into being in response to Batman's existence.
Yeah.
This Joker has been around the block. He knows what's going on. He's already broken out of Arkham, which means he's been put in Arkham for a reason already. what I hated about this Joker was his relationship with Harley Quinn.
This is a huge can of worms.
I fucking hated it. Because he actually loves her.
Yeah.
And he actually cares about her.
And that's not the Joker.
And that's not at all the Joker. He's supposed to be incapable of love. And I think, like, the relationship between Joker and Harley Quinn is, like, one of the most actual, like, loving relationships in the DC universe right now. Isn't that horrifying? Like,
Because
literally,
that's supposed to be so poisonous.
It's supposed to, like, Harley Quinn is supposed to be this perfect representation of an abusive relationship. Mm-hmm. And she's supposed to be a Greek tragedy, almost, in that she is better than the Joker and she can't see it.
Yeah.
She can't, she's stuck, she's attracted to him, which makes moments like what's happened in the comic books recently, spoilers for comic book readers if you haven't gotten through the last Harley Quinn run.
Oh, no.
She's broken away from the Joker completely.
Okay.
Finally,
You're saying they
she runs into him finally because she has to go into Arkham to break some guy out, and she comes across the Joker, and the Joker tries to do his stuff with her, and she beats the shit out of him and leaves.
Doesn't she bite his tongue or something?
She bites a chunk of his lip off. Yeah, and then just leaves, and like that series ends with her getting together with Poison Ivy. It's great.
Yeah,
but
I'll read that.
That is such a great storytelling. It's so powerful. It's so entertaining that, oh my god, it's so frustrating that I have to just sit through them actually being like this caring, like it's demented.
Yeah.
But like they're actually a couple. I don't know if that's some PC attempt to like not show abuse, like domestic abuse.
Because they kind of showed it. They showed him like shocking her, but like that's
what he did to make her Harley Quinn.
Yeah,
and that's another thing that bugs me. Like, she didn't get electrocuted to be made into Harley Quinn. She's not. She falls for the Joker. That's what makes her into Harley Quinn.
Yeah. She
adopts this alter ego to impress him.
Yeah.
And it's just.
And then
the way we saw it was so annoying, because it's like the beauty of watching Harley Quinn go back to the Joker time and time again is we as the audience know he's using her.
Yeah.
And in this case,
tragic, but you can see why, at least.
It's tragic, but in this case, when she goes back to him again and then again at the end of the movie, and you're just like, you almost don't fault her anymore.
Yeah.
Because it's like, well, he actually does like her. He's come for her twice now.
Yeah, you don't sympathize with her.
Yes, you don't feel that pang of just like, oh, honey, you're better. You don't. What are you doing?
Yeah, she does not come off as a good person that's stuck. That's like been twisted that way. She comes off as just a bad person. Which, in the Suicide Squad, I guess that's fine because objectively, except for maybe Deadshot, they all kind of feel like bad people.
Yeah.
Killer Croc, at least.
Well, I mean, they are all supposed to be bad people.
Yeah, but and they all have their motives, at least.
Right. Yeah, they all have their motives to them. They are all bad, but
you feel bad for Deadshot,
and you feel bad for Diablo.
You don't feel bad for the other ones because they don't get any screen time. You don't feel bad for Harley Quinn. She gets the most screen time objectively, but you don't feel bad for it.
No, you feel no pity for her.
You know what's, or not pity, but sympathy. But like, the worst thing though, by far, to me, is when I got home, I went on to cool teen website tumblr.com, which you can follow me at Tombstone Power Driver. Take out all the vowels. I went on Tumblr.
Yeah.
And I searched Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
And I found like a GIF set.
Yeah.
Or GIF set or whatever. And there was like the scene where they jump into like the Crayola mix acid or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's and they weird. Just start making out.
Yeah.
And under it, I saw from a person, I assume a teenage girl. Or a teenage boy, I don't care. A teenager, a young impressionable mind, say, goals. Which is horrifying if you know anything about the comics or can do any kind of analysis of subtext or main text. Because that's like, this is horrifying. You don't want to promote this couple. Because the Joker is a monster.
Yeah, literally, he's supposed to be a monster.
Yeah.
But I think we can talk about that when we review The Killing Joke or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Let's get back to Suicide Squad.
Okay.
We
have to watch The Killing Joke again if we're going to review it.
Yeah.
Gotta revisit it.
Yeah. Let's stop real quick and just real quick talk about the music. What a dumpster fire. And I came out of the movie so disappointed with the music because every trailer was perfectly edited to a Queen song.
Yeah.
Which there's no faster way to get me on board with something than to put Queen to it.
That's the canned pop for us.
That is like you could put like Mein Kampf, the movie, but have like We Will Rock You on the back of it, and I'd be like, oh yeah, all right, let's hear about the Third Reich. It's gonna be great. Like there is no more guaranteed way to get me on board with something than to put Queen to it, but you better fucking live up to that. And the music in this movie sucked.
I mean, yeah, I kind of got this weird feeling that like they'd seen what Deadpool did. Where we used like mid '90s, early 2000s hip hop
Just
pop
call
music,
me Angel.
or they saw what Guardians of the Galaxy did with their soundtrack that gave it a texture.
Yeah,
and they saw that's success. Those movies were really popular and successful.
Those movies made lots of money,
and they did it, and it just fell flat. The whole movie. That's the
word.
The whole movie is like diluted feeling. It's as damp
Diluted's
and
a good word.
It's like. Nothing matters, and nothing like really pulls you in, and everything feels flat and lifeless and colorless, except for Will Smith.
Yeah, and again, I want to reiterate, we like most movies that we see.
Yeah. Like we like to...
Most of the reviews that we do will probably go against the grain and will be us supporting something.
Yeah.
This one was just, we both walked out so utterly disappointed that we were inspired to make the first review for this one.
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. I think diluted is a good word, and just everything feels so suppressed in this movie. It's just like, they had a lot of good ideas that they wanted to do, and they just didn't. Or they went half-ass on them. Like, they're like...
What good ideas?
Yeah, fair point.
Yeah, like
I mean,
the movie was written. I think what John said. The movie was written in 6 months, which explains to me because it felt super formulaic.
It did.
That was it. It was formulaic. Everything was like when you think of like the steps of progression in a superhero movie.
Yeah.
You've already seen Suicide Squad.
Well, and you knew from the beginning that Deadshot was going to be like his "prove I'm a good person" storyline.
Mm-hmm.
You knew that's where he was going. You knew Diablo was going to have his redemption arc storyline,
where he finally uses his powers for the right reasons.
For the right reasons. You knew, and you I guess you thought Harley Quinn would have her choosing the team over the Joker moment, but that didn't happen.
Yeah, you'd realize that like, oh, the Joker's a monster and doesn't care about me, and then the Joker totally cares about me, and I'm still evil.
Right, that didn't happen. Let's talk about my favorite aspect of this movie, and I wish I could say it was longer than like a 15-second sequence, when the girl transforms into Enchantress for the first time.
Oh.
And like the hand like comes through her hand.
The one cool visual the whole movie.
But it was so cool.
Yeah.
Her transformation into Enchantress for the first time is like actually like my jaw dropped. I thought it was the coolest.
Yeah, I was the only time I was like, alright, that was interesting. But you know what we haven't talked about? Because, like, that's a cool scene.
Yeah.
But there's nothing else we can talk about. We can just say that's a cool scene. That was cool visually, aesthetically interesting.
Well, they go get the information from Iran on the weapons
from
super
terrorist company from terrorist nation.
Land. Yeah, she breaks into terrorist land and steals the evil plans.
The evil plans, the ancient scroll that the government's been looking for years.
Yeah, to prove that she is under control of Waller, so that they'll allow her to make Task Force X.
It's a plot point. It
is the biggest MacGuffin.
Yeah, it backfires horribly because literally the next scene is she betrays her.
Yeah, like literally the next time she becomes Enchantress, she betrays her. Like,
yeah,
that went well.
That was it. That was the thing. The comedy. We didn't talk about the comedy. We talked about how bad the action was. We didn't talk about how unfunny the movie was. episode.
For a movie that did a bunch of reshoots to add more comedy into it, I'm really struggling to figure out where.
Yeah. There was
I laughed twice in that movie.
I think I laughed once.
I laughed twice in the entire movie.
Okay, I laughed once, like an actual laugh, and then like that could have been funny laugh. Like, but like I'll give it to you.
What was your actual laugh?
The fucking when Will Smith is talking. I don't remember where it was because
he does a lot of that.
He talks a lot, and there's like he like starts to listen off the people that are like messing with him. He's like, but he doesn't learn their names. So it's like the deaf hoe, and it's like that part was funny. Will Smith's banter is funny.
Will Smith, yeah. I think the only time I actually laughed like out loud was when he goes down and discovers that they're busting Waller out of there, and Waller like shoots the 3 guys, and he's like, "You're a straight up gangster."
Yeah,
like, that's cool. Like, I actually laughed at that.
Oh, but the pity laugh was, I think it was when they're all in the bar, and it's like you're all free to go, and I think it's Captain Boomerang just darts out the door.
He just runs out. Yeah,
he just leaves, and then he's back for some
reason. Then he's back in the very next scene with no explanation. He's like, "Oh, hey, Harley," and she's like, "Oh."
Like he was like I just picture like he just left, and then they spent like an extra 10 minutes in the bar talking, and then they go outside, and he's just been like peeing, and he's like, "What are you doing here?" He's like, "We're in the middle of a city that is just in desolate ruins. I don't have a way out of here. I'm just gonna walk with you guys anyways."
I felt like this movie kept accomplishing nothing because like in the opening bits they're talking about each person, that was great. Like getting the actual like story behind all the people in the Suicide Squad, that was a good like this movie started off the first 10 minutes of the movie were really good, and then there's just like now they're okay, everyone's on the Suicide Squad, and they're all like, "No, we're not," and she's like, "Yeah, you are. Here's a bomb in your neck. All right, now okay,
suit up.
This thing's happening. Let's all suit up. Okay."
Set to the most dated song of all time.
I don't even remember what song.
That's an Eminem song, and it's da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
I don't even remember the name of that song. That song is dated, and it does not. And you like feel it. You listen to it, it's like, oof, this was a bad idea.
Yeah. So they get suited up. They go in. They fight their way through the city to this building. They rescue Waller. Waller gets on a helicopter, is immediately shot down, and they have to go rescue her again. I'm like,
why were they saving Waller again?
That's what their assignment was to go get her.
Yeah.
They had to go save a VIP who was trapped in the city. They just
But
know it was her.
It was a test at that point. It wasn't an actual mission. It was a test
No,
mission.
it was a mission because she was stuck in the city. She couldn't get out.
I legitimately, when I was watching it, I thought that she intentionally put herself there.
No, I think she was supposed to leave and she didn't.
Okay.
Either way,
That
it's
makes it a
stupid,
little
lazy
better.
writing.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no.
There was a scene where if this was a Marvel movie, it might have been funny. Because like, I saw that, but that's a Deadpool joke. It was a scene where they're all suiting up, and by the way...
Oh, God, I know what you're going to say. I almost threw popcorn.
You might not. Maybe. It's, Captain Boomerang is looking for his shit, and he finds, like, a stuffed pink unicorn, and he puts it in his jacket.
Yeah.
And then later in the movie, it's like an action scene,
Yeah.
and he, like, throws his boomerang, or, like, hits a putty, and, the stuffed animal comes, like, flying out of his coat in slow motion. If that was Deadpool, that would have been funny. Like, because they would have done it better, because the movie would have been so dark.
No, but... They did that literally, I think, as a nod to Deadpool, because he has the scene where he's jacking off with the Deponey in his face.
Yeah.
Like, the movie just... Like, Deadpool just happened 8 months ago, you assholes.
Yeah.
Stop ripping off a better movie.
I saw that joke, and I was like, ugh. Because, like, it was just not funny.
It's like...
I knew it was supposed to be funny, but it didn't make me laugh. Like, another one. It's even in the trailer, and I remember, like, you told me you liked this joke, and I'm like, how do you like this joke?
Oh, no.
Harley Quinn is like sitting there and they're all like, you know, looking at her because she's just like,
and
like, what's that? I should kill everyone here and escape? Oh, sorry. It's the voices. No, I'm just kidding. That's not what they said. That's such a bad joke.
You know why I think I might have liked that joke?
Why?
Might have been with the Queen playing in the background.
Yeah, Queen.
I'm not being held responsible for any opinions on the trailer because I had Queen. I maintain if you had Queen playing throughout that entire movie,
You might have liked
we would
it.
be sitting on this couch giving it 10 out of 10.
Like if they did like a Paul stretched version of Don't Stop Me Now.
Yeah, just the whole movie.
Like Freddie Mercury would have descended from heaven himself and put rose tinted like glasses on your face.
On my
as
face,
you
yeah,
watched it.
and like made out with me for the entirety. It would have been great. I had to get like 10. We'd have been sitting there 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I love that part where Queen was playing. I don't remember what else was happening, but Queen was playing. It was cool.
It was awesome.
He punched that putty and it exploded. And
maybe we just need to go see a Queen concert. Granted, I don't think they're still playing, but
what?
I know.
You know, there's a scene. One good scene, like an actual scene that didn't fall flat to me. Well, question. Second that. Everything except for one aspect of the scene fell flat. Is when Zool is like putting images in their head of what they want to see most.
Zool.
Yeah, I don't remember her name.
Enchantress.
Enchantress. Her name is Zool now.
The witch. Yeah.
Bae Zool. She's
Bae Zool.
hot
yeah,
Zool.
Yeah. Sexy
and
Zool. Pre-dog Zool. Or she's Gozer.
Gozers.
There we go.
So and she's putting all these images in their heads.
Yeah.
Deadshot's is like what you'd expect it to be. He wants to see his
daughter. Yeah.
And Harley Quinn's is like just like.
Oh, she's a family with the Joker.
She's got like a nuclear family, 1950s nuclear family with the Joker.
She's got complete with the hair curlers and everything. Yeah.
And it's just lame. And like that's like maybe the only way they could spin that is that she might realize that Joker can't give her that. That's the only way.
No, that.
But, let me finish.
Okay.
There's one good aspect in that scene. And it's when Pyro is like picturing his like family and like them like his wife trying to blow him or something.
Right, yeah.
And he's like, "You can't give me that. They're gone." And like he rallies them to do he's a martyr in that scene.
Not even that he says you can't give me that. He's saying no. He's basically saying I have to own up to what I did, and for me to accept this fantasy would be denying what I did. You can't change what I did.
Yeah.
And I
Which
think
is better
that was
than
cool.
what I said.
Here's my problem with that scene. It lasted like 40 seconds.
Though
All their visions, there was like 40 seconds of screen time total.
The only time you get to like do what you're supposed to do with the Suicide Squad is sympathize with them.
Yeah.
Because even over villains, the only time you're supposed to give them humanity and not just a face that Batman punches.
Well, and like I said, that whole moment lasted like 40 seconds, and we only saw Diablo, Harley Quinn, and Deadshot.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell Killer Croc would want. I'm assuming like he's just like.
No, he wasn't there either.
Oh yeah.
He wasn't there, but like that moment should have been a little bit longer. It should have been like Diablo actually having to like do something to get them to snap out of their vision, not just going, "Hey, it's not real."
Yeah.
Because they're like, "Oh yeah, you're right," and then they just like go out and attack. Like you're like, "Oh, I guess that scene's over."
That could have been right from then on.
That could have been cool.
Yeah. You know what was really lame? Slipknot and what was it? Zatanna or Katana? Katana. They both just kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah, and we didn't get to see Katana's eye do the cool thing that turns black like in the trailer.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah, they didn't actually do that scene. That looked cool.
Like Katana, I don't know why she was there. Honestly, I have no understanding of why she was there. I know why Slipknot was there. Spoiler: Slipknot dies in the lamest way. He's a character who gets introduced last second to the Suicide Squad.
Oh, you knew he was there to die.
Yeah,
because they were have to be able to kill
he doesn't get a backstory.
No.
He doesn't get like footage of him getting caught and talking to guards about what he wants when he gets out.
Mm-hmm.
What happens to him is he's just a dude who what's his power? He can climb anything.
I don't know.
Like I swear to God, when I was watching it, like I heard them say he can tie any knot, and I was like,
Slipknot
can tie any knot.
Slipknot was there to be proof that they can blow their head off.
Yeah, because he was climbing up a building after like trying to break out, and then his head exploded. And I was like, oh, I don't care about you.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't care about the Suicide Squad. Sans Deadshot.
Yeah. And that's really kind of just the whole thing. Like, there's no reason to care.
The movie.
There's just not. It fell flat. It sucked.
It was boring.
Yeah.
That's the big gripe.
Yeah, I don't mind a bad movie, but it can't be boring.
Especially
and that movie, for a movie that was pretty much just like an hour-long action sequence after the first half hour, it was boring.
Yeah. For a movie. To my understanding, the Suicide Squad is like, they're not your superheroes. This is an anti-hero movie. It was more. It was like they're just like they're not superheroes. They're different from superheroes. This was the most superhero movie I've ever seen. It was just a generic superhero movie where all the superheroes are lame.
Alright. So to close this video out, I think we need to talk about the best scene in the entire movie. I think it's the only proper way we can close this out.
Okay.
So,
one.
I don't know if you remember this scene. It's really close to the beginning. There's a trailer for Wonder Woman. And that is far and away the best thing on screen.
The only good thing in the whole movie is the trailer for Wonder Woman before the movie.
That's it. That trailer for Wonder Woman, I'm super hyped for next summer. And yet, at the same time, my hype is now tempered because the last 4 DC movies I've seen have been giant letdowns.
Yeah. I know they got a different director doing it.
Oh, thank God.
It's a woman, which is a good plus. But I watched the trailer for Justice League when I got home. You know what my
I've heard that's good. I haven't seen the trailer for Justice League yet, actually.
It's boring.
It's got Zack Snyder written all over it.
It's dark and darker and muted color and flat acting.
Why is DC afraid of putting color in their superhero movies?
Because these aren't the characters you grew up with. These are adult superhero
The gritty, real versions.
This is the Dark Knight.
Does anyone walk out of a Marvel superhero movie thinking like, oh, that was for kids?
That was corny.
No, you don't though, right?
No.
I walk out of those always thinking that was fun.
Yeah, they're just not playing to their audience.
There's nothing wrong with a superhero movie being fun.
Yeah. Like, I have and it's like, I don't have a problem with superhero movies being grim.
Yeah.
Like, I think,
I don't have a problem with it when it fits.
Yeah, like, aesthetically, when it makes sense. Like, I think...
You want to do The Punisher?
Yeah, Punisher,
or
I think, is Doctor Strange Marvel or DC?
Doctor Strange would be Marvel.
Okay. Doctor Strange looks way more serious, way less lighthearted than, like, the last few Marvel movies, and it looks like it makes sense. Like, it looks good. I think Doctor Strange looks good. But, like, all of DC's movies as of late have been, like, super, like, just real world feeling. Like, the most disappointing thing in a video game is when the world looks like the real world. It's all the shades of gray and brown, and you're shooting walls or whatever. That's what makes a bad game to me. And I feel like movies can be held to a similar standard when the premise of a movie is fantastic.
Yeah,
it is otherworldly powers and superhumans, or metahumans. That's what they call them.
Ugh. Yeah,
you don't have to.
It's a major bummer to see these movies and take things like comic books, which are so grounded in the fantastical.
Yeah.
And to take them and try, like, you can apply real world things. You know what did it really well? The Dark Knight trilogy. Well, the first 2, anyway.
Oh, you didn't like the third one, that's right.
I didn't like Dark Knight Rises. But the first 2, I thought, were so, like, grounded in the real world. Batman felt very real.
Yeah.
His villains felt very real.
He wasn't fighting Mr. Freeze or anything.
Right, exactly. But, like, when you add Superman into the mix, suddenly you're like, okay, so I've got this world that's meant to feel real, and then I have a dude who can fly and shoot lasers out of his eyes.
Yeah. Or, what's a good example? Like, I think a movie, like, I have to go back and watch it if I can confirm this, but Watchmen. Watchmen was, like...
I love the Watchmen.
Really dark and depressing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they did have, like, scenes where, like, a blue demigod would, like, create, like, giant golden, like, things on Mars and stuff. Like, that was beautiful and gorgeous, but, like, it didn't make sense in the world. Like, that's, like, you can do dark and real world feeling with super fantastic people, but you gotta establish that, you gotta have, like, it can't just be all dark and super, like, real world feeling with these super fantastic people. You gotta show us that it's, like, this world is fantastic, even if it is grounded in reality.
Right, and like I said, I think it was fine when you kept it grounded in reality with people like Batman.
Yeah.
But, like, even with
Killer
Batman,
Croc,
once it got to the Dark Knight Rises, where he had, like, where Bane has sealed off, like, the city for, like, half a year, and is just, like, letting chaos run amok, it's just like, alright, this is getting a little ridiculous.
It's getting a little goofy.
So let's try and put a grade on this movie, and I don't want to do a traditional grading scale. I want to do, like, because I think the highest compliment you can pay a movie is let's see it again in theaters. Like that is the highest compliment you can pay a movie, I think. Is let's go see that again, right?
Yeah, which I'm
Then
never
there's
going to do.
so here's the recommendations. It can be let's see it again in theaters.
Okay.
Go see it in theaters. Wait till it's out on DVD. Netflix and chill, and just pass.
Like okay, cool. Netflix and chill, and then Netflix and put the emphasis on chill,
Okay, yeah, all right.
and then pass.
And then
Because
pass.
you can't get it up while watching this movie.
Pass means just don't see it.
Yeah. Don't even
Um,
pretend to see it while you're trying to score.
I think I'm gonna give it a Netflix and chill. Like I can see that like watching this movie, like with your arm wrapped around someone trying to feel up their boobs.
Yeah, like you don't.
That's a good way to get through the movie, I think.
I could agree with that. If we're gonna go in wrestling, wrestling is what I know about. How they do their grading system is a 1 through 5 stars.
Okay.
But then there's the cursed -5 stars. There's no -4, 3, 2, or 1. It's just -5 stars, and this is for atrocities.
Like
These are
Shawn Michaels and Hulk Hogan.
no, that was like a 2-star match.
Oh.
This movie. -5 stars.
So
I
that's
was-
a straight up pass. Don't even see it.
Don't see it. Don't watch, like, go watch Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Don't watch Justice League. Like, this has to change.
Yeah.
These movies, like, they make a ton of money anyways.
Yeah.
Because, like, they have huge production value. Don't go see this movie. This movie is bad. These movies are terrible. Don't go see them. It's gotta be made, like...
I gave it a Netflix and chill. Like I think it's one of those things where it's like once it's out and you're just like hanging around. You know those nights where you're just like watching TV or just like you're not even watching TV, you're like playing Pokemon Go, but you're lying on the couch.
Yeah.
Suicide Squad comes on that way. That's the right way to watch that movie. But like Batman vs Superman, I would give a don't see it.
Yeah.
I've literally told customers at my work when they ask me about Batman vs Superman, I'm like,
See,
don't see it. It's awful.
I'm on the reverse. I hated this movie more than Batman vs.
Oh,
Superman.
okay. Yeah.
Like, and that's like I had no expectations for Batman vs Superman, and I came in watching it and like, yeah, this is okay, and then coming out like, oh, this is really bad. I came into this movie like expecting it to be corny and flat and bad, and it was worse than I could have imagined.
All right, well, there you guys have it. So we've got a don't see it and a wait till it's out on DVD and watch it while trying to feel up somebody.
So bad.
That's what you got from us. Hope you guys enjoyed our first review. We'll be back next time we go out and watch a midnight release of something. Until then, have yourselves a good one.